What's up, guys, and welcome to the second ever episode of the Awesome Games Podcast. I am your host, Alex Wolf, joined here by my great co-host and good friend, Steven Morrow.
Hello. Oh, that's nice.
You're welcome.
I'm a great co-host, guys.
Great co-host.
Thank you.
The best of co-hosts.
You're a great host.
Oh, well, thank you.
There we go.
And again, if you don't know who we are just two guys from Northern Kentucky here to bring you your latest video game news, this time covering news from January 14th to January 20th. But first off, Steven, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of random-ass things.
Okay.
I got a couple platinums yesterday.
All right, what in?
Coffin Dodgers. I don't recommend that game.
It's real bad?
Well, it's just not good. But it's a racing game where you play as old people who are like trying not to die, so they're racing away from death.
Oh, okay. I remember you, we looked, it was during the flash sale, not...
Yeah, it got us for, I think, like $2.
Yeah.
Okay. So, easy platinum, though.
There you go. All the trophy hunters out there looking for some good plats.
Yeah, and then I platinumed The Bunker.
The Bunker.
Yeah, which was better than Coffin Dodgers. Still didn't blow my mind or anything, but it's kind of cool. It's like a live-action point-and-click game, but it's like an interactive movie. You make different choices and stuff, but that one was pretty cool.
There you go. That's awesome. Yeah. I dabbled in very little Stardew Valley.
Oh, okay.
It was... Tell you what, a game that kind of just really drops you in there, man. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I'm like, okay. So I ended up once I figured out how to fish, I'm like, alright, I'm just going to fish. So I did that.
Just gonna fish.
Just fished
and
around.
17 hours later.
Yep, I fished, and then I have not played it since then.
No.
I'll get back into it. Like, it was fun. I just gotta... It's one of those games, like, I think you have to watch other people play so you can figure out what... And they go over tips and tricks and whatnot, and then, like, read, little intro guides of what to do.
Well, that's half the fun is, like, figuring it out. Kind of like with Monster Hunter. But also, like, the community aspect.
There's that, but I feel like Monster Hunter held your hand more than this game.
Really?
Like, Monster Hunter at least gives you a tutorial. It may be overwhelming, but it gives you, like, oh, hey, if you need help, you can go to this guy. He'll train you, and you can do that stuff. I don't have that option in Stardew.
Oh.
It's very much, here you go, and it's like, hey, look at your map. I have a map? Where's my map? How do I get to this? Yeah. Oh.
Would you say Stardew Valley is kind of like life? It just drops you in, and then all of a sudden you're, like, wasting your time farming for, like, coins, and then all of a sudden you're married?
It's fair. It's a fair summer.
That's basically my experience with life.
But no, I've been playing that. I've been playing some more Kingdom Hearts. I'm on Dream Drop Distance still. I took about a week off just to give my mind some kind of bit of a reprieve. But relaunching, like, oh my god.
It's a lot of Kingdom Hearts.
A whole lot of Kingdom Hearts the past month.
I'm surprised you haven't burnt yourself out on it.
I'm honestly surprised too.
If you start Kingdom Hearts 3, you're just going to be like, alright, I'm done. Enough.
That's what happened with Assassin's Creed. I missed out, so I Platinum 2. Like, shortly after it launched on the PS3. And then Brotherhood came out later, and then I missed out on that, and then Revelations came out the next year, and then finally 3 launched. And then I was like, oh, God, I want to play these games, so I don't have time nor the money. So, it was around when Black Flag launched, because it was one of the big games I wanted to play on PS4. Before it launched, for 2 months, I binged Brotherhood, Revelations, and 3, just in a go.
God.
I got to 4, I'm like, alright, big PS4 game, let's go, and I just stopped playing. I was like, nope, and I haven't been back into it since. And I really want to get into it because I heard it's a lot better. So I have Odyssey ready to go, but that's going to be after Kingdom Hearts, just because it's important.
Yeah.
Kingdom
Hearts is probably... I mean, we already talked about it. It's probably one of the most important releases for the beginning of this year.
Oh, God, I can't wait. It's going to kick off... Well, I can't say it's going to kick off the biggest of the year, because we have Resident Evil 5 coming out later this week. Yeah. Or on the 25th,
well, Resident Evil 2.
2, yeah, not 5. I keep thinking, I don't know why.
Well, 2s kind of look like 5s. Flip them upside down and reverse. I have no idea.
Some orientation shift in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, a bit of housekeeping here. I know I said I had the social media pages up this past week. I know I don't.
We're working on it.
Yeah, the workout. Don't worry, it'll hopefully be done within this week. I can't imagine it taking me too long. I just got lazy and a bunch of other stuff, and I was like, I'll get to it later. But we'll get that going. We'll also get the iTunes links and everything set up this week as well. So hopefully, before episode 3 launches, we'll be on all, some streaming services.
I know this is awful.
Oh, the worst.
Well, earlier I noticed I was looking at you and my neck was hurting, so I'm just going to angle it a little bit.
Remember what I said about great co-hosts?
What?
You still are. You're still.
Oh, okay. I was like, am I getting this taken away from me?
Oh, I mean, you're fine. All right. So, without any further ado, let's head up on into it. So, what?
I need to Just ignore me. I'm sorry. This is awful.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Why don't you sit like a human?
I'm not a human.
All right, it's a fair assumption there. I can agree.
All right.
All right, so without further ado, let's get into the news. So one of the big first things we saw here was one of last year's big games is getting a free
After I'm
DLC.
told not to hit the table. Drums on the table.
So
Great co-host.
Alright, so, in big news, Celeste, one of the biggest games of last year, is getting some free DLC. This comes from Oscar Dias on... What are we? Oh, no! GameSpot. So, Celeste, one of 2018's best games, it's getting free DLC on PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and Nintendo Switch very soon. The game's creator, Matt Thorson, has shared details and update on Twitter, and it sounds promising. It will consist of a new chapter containing the most difficult levels in the game, added stages, and new items and mechanics. But
More difficulty?
Yeah, I know.
Celeste,
I mean,
you need to stop.
Well, they have the assist mode in there, so that's nice.
Okay,
yes,
right.
but
all
I mean,
right, Celeste, keep going.
But they encourage you not to use it because they like, hey, the whole point of this game is like,
Yeah, symbolism. You want to
So
stop.
at the same time, it's nice that they have that option there for you because
I like that
I'm going to need it.
This is an expansion. This is not just like piddly little stuff. This is
Yeah.
new levels, more difficult levels. That's cool. New mechanics. This is like a big chunk.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. No release date yet. They just know it's going to be after January 25th. Celebrating the game's 1-year anniversary. Okay. So expect it sometime soon. But yeah, that'll be great. Can't wait for that. And next we
I still need to play that.
I mean, me too. So they released it for free on Xbox One with the Games with Gold. Mm-hmm. And I bought Xbox Live Gold, got a card, because I'm like, all right, well, I'll do this, get stuff for the year, and I'll play Celeste right away. And then I promptly decided, I was like, I'm not going to hold on this console for just one game. Well, two, because I was playing Cuphead at the time, and I just haven't gotten back into it yet. So, traded in the Xbox One, returned the Xbox Live Gold before I redeemed or scratched the code, whatever. So, no Celeste for me, but I'm sure, hopefully, it'll go on sale sooner or later, sometime this year.
Yeah, eventually. I think this might be a weird thing to say, but I feel like Celeste is a good backlog game. Yeah. It's something that, it's not timely to play it. It's not like a sequel to anything. It's its own self-contained thing, and it's comparatively shorter than a lot of the big 30+ hour things. So, nice thing for once we get into another lull, which is probably never going to happen. But once we do, we can download that. And
that, it's been out since January of 2018. And what's another few months?
Yeah, so, you're right.
Exactly.
So I'm looking forward to going back to that one.
Yeah, me too. I've got a lot I got to go back to from last year, especially towards the tail end of everything. So I'll be doing that soon. Next, we have Soulja Boy. Is releasing his console, and it looks dead on like a PlayStation Vita.
No, Celeste doesn't need to stop. Soulja Boy needs to stop. You need to just leave.
This comes from Saqib Shah on Engadget. Soulja Boy is shrugging off possible legal threats from the gaming giants with another rip-off console. In the wake of his ill-fated Nintendo emulator swag, his latest attempt at the plagiarism marries the design of the PlayStation Vita with the specs of the PlayStation Portable. It is probably only a matter of time till Tony sells Soulja, real name DeAndre Cortez Way, to pull the plug on it or face legal action.
Well, hold on. Are we able to show them this?
I mean, I don't know. We can put it to the camera and see if it shows.
Okay, so this is probably going to look shitty. Maybe we can edit this later, but it's literally a Photoshop Vita.
Upside down.
It's just an upside down Photoshop Vita. What a piece of shit. I mean, who does this? It's like when you see the people are like, oh, PlayStation 6 has been announced, and then they stick those shitty Photoshop things on Google. Yeah. This is worse because it's literally a Vita. That's it. And then there's a picture of some racing game, which I think that same racing game is pulled from that announcement that the other guy made of the new console.
The Mad Catz?
Yeah, that looks like the same screenshot that he was using too. So, fuck you. Just stop.
Passionate about that Vita love, aren't you?
Well, I mean, that is blatant plagiarism. Just stop. Why does he have to jump into the console thing? It's stupid.
Do what you ever gotta do, man, I guess. I don't know. But I mean, it's not like he tried the same thing with Nintendo. Nintendo shut him down. I can't imagine Sony's gonna be much more forgiving, so.
Well, actually, what would be interesting? What if PlayStation's like, alright, every time that we do a handheld, it's great, but nobody cares. So we'll just let you do it. And then it'll basically be a Vita, but it'll be supported by all these random ragtag team of developers.
So the PlayStation Vita, but with less cost efficiency in there. Just like, let's just throw it off on him. And
but like
say,
shittier, but probably more like marketed, like more successful in the market.
I don't know about successful. We'll see what happens with that.
The world is full of strange occurrences.
That is true.
We'll see.
Next, and more legitimate news, new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe launch sales are 25% higher than the launch on the Wii U. This comes from Eurogamer, written by, it doesn't have a name. Or, hold on, let's go to the full story here.
Come on, Euro. Oh, wait, was that it? Tom Phillips? Tom Phillips.
Tom
right
Phillips?
There. Yeah,
by Tom Phillips. Let's see here. According to chart track data, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe sold more than Mario Tennis during its launch week, but less than Smash and Mario Kart. As ever, digital sales are not counted. Let's see here.
Wait, it says digital sales are not counted.
They have not been counted yet.
All right.
And it's probably just harder for them to get the MPD sales and everything. Let's see.
Well, I'm not really surprised because I mean, if you just look at the user base for the Switch compared to the Wii U, it's like.
I mean, it's
like
just
100 to 1.
It's that,
probably 1,000 to 1.
We haven't seen I don't want to say a true Mario game because we've had games like Mario Tennis and that and the other, but we haven't seen a dedicated Odyssey. But that's the thing, we haven't seen a dedicated Mario game since Odyssey on the Switch hit yet. So, and this
since that long wait of a year.
Yeah. So, but hey, I mean, people expect things to come out like Call of Duty games or Madden.
And this is the more traditional style.
Exactly.
The 2D thing.
So
it's what people think of. Well. Yeah, it's what people think of when they think of Mario.
Yeah, so this really adheres to, I think, more of a crowd than the Odyssey did, just because Odyssey, while a bigger launch and, had more to it, it was not as probably accessible as this one would be, where it's just, your side's going jumping around. And then with the new, with Toadette in there, and then you have Nabbit also, you're including all the new Super Luigi U DLC.
Dag Nabbit. I'm sorry. I'll leave. I can leave.
Best co-host, ladies and gentlemen.
I like Toadette, though. Toadette's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. And it squashed that Peachette nonsense, and I think the internet ruined that for themselves. And you know why. You all do.
Yeah. I've seen well...
Let's just leave it at that.
We'll go on.
In big news, Mortal Kombat 11 got a gameplay reveal and new story-related trailer as well. Not even like a trailer. It's the first, cutscene of the whole game.
I didn't know it was the first cutscene.
Yeah, I watched it the other day, and it was massive. I mean, this game looks fluid, and it looks faster paced. I mean, I've been a huge Mortal Kombat fan since the beginning, but I feel like since MK9, so Mortal Kombat on PS3 and 360, the combat's been very, and they got rid of the 3D plane, and they were on a 2D plane with 3D models. The combat seems slow, kind of stagnant. And while I get it, frames and competitive fighting scene, they love it, and it's working out for them. But for me, as I go in for the story, and I play with friends here and there. I suck too much to be competitive about this. I always thought, why wouldn't you want a faster-paced game where it's I feel like if I'm
more
playing...
satisfying.
More satisfying, and if you're playing as these world-renowned martial artists, you'd think they could throw a punch and then quickly throw another punch right after. They wouldn't have to throw a punch, stop for a second, and then throw another one, So, I mean, this looks fluid. The fatalities are as brutal as ever.
Or maybe even more brutal.
Yeah, it's insane. They rip a face off.
They didn't just rip it. It was peeling it. And you could see the little tendrils and goo, and then the eyeballs, and then the brain, and then he ate the brain.
But yeah, I mean, they're
kind of tasty. I need a brain.
Not human.
Maybe not a human brain. Well, I'm gonna... Is that the police?
But yeah, in the Mortal Kombat, they have a firm release date from what I can tell. I mean, it's launching in April, so that's gonna be great. I mean, I'm surprised how soon it's coming out. I mean,
yeah, this was just announced.
Yeah,
right at the end of last year, I think.
Yeah, at the Game Awards, it was announced at the Game Awards, and we have 4 months. Holy hell! It's already looked like a massive year already. I mean, they've gotten first quarter's already taken care of. I believe April's the start of Q2 for video game releases. So I mean, it sounds like we have a pretty strong lineup for the next 3 to 4 months.
Actually, that short announced to release time frame, I think that's going to be something that we'll be seeing more of. And I'm excited for that, because that just seems like the future. I mean, I hate this whole, hey, this is a game that you're not going to be able to play for another 4 or 5 years. Nobody likes that, and then things get canceled. They look different. It's just a PR mess. So this, I feel like it's nice. They can control the message more. People can get more hyped in the short amount of time. I think this is great.
Oh, no, I applaud it, too. I think it really started with Bungie a few years ago with Fallout 4. Not Bungie.
Bethesda?
Bethesda. Sorry,
Okay.
yeah.
I got all confused.
Yeah,
I'm like, are you talking about Destiny or Fallout?
Yeah, no. With Fallout 4, I mean, it was really surprising when Bethesda had their first ever. I can't think it was their first or second presser at E3, but they announced Fallout 4 coming out. You know, it was in June, and they announced the game coming out in November of that year, which was crazy considering what would happen with Fallout 3 and how long it took for that to come out, and then the fact that not only did they announce it, but it actually happened. Yeah. And they did that with quite a few games that year, and they've continued to do so. And you see more and more developers doing that now, and that's awesome. I mean, I think you'll hear things. I mean, I feel like now if anyone announces a game, it's like, hey, it's a couple years away, it's very little. It's much like what they did with their new games coming out. So, Elder Scrolls 6, and I can't remember the new IP they're launching, Star or something.
Yeah, some sci-fi thing.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't really show anything off. They kind of just said, hey, here's this thing. We got a little quick glimpse at something. It's like, coming in a couple years, it's in development. It will, be on next gen. So it's like, okay, like I'll take that. I don't know anything about the game. This is like, hey, this is the thing that's happening, and that's great. So I think that's how things should be. It's fine. Anyway, so moving on, we have Amazon making big moves. So for Amazon, this comes from the Motley Fool. Amazon, a well-known leading online retailer, as well as being the undisputed champ in cloud computing, the company also pursuing a growth in digital advertising, streaming video, business-to-business commerce, and video game streaming with a growing host of electronic devices. Now, the digital sales leader wants to combine the best aspects of the two businesses, cloud computing and the game streaming, to attack one of the latest untapped opportunities in gaming. Amazon plans to launch a cloud gaming service, according to the report in The Information. However, it is entering a crowded field as several of tech's biggest companies have similar aspirations.
Like Google.
Yeah, I mean,
I think this is interesting that pretty much all the big players are getting into video game streaming. Mm-hmm. Though I don't know.
Well, cloud-based streaming. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is.
It's interesting. I haven't personally experienced it ever working. However, when Google started doing the beta test for their version, I've heard that it was working.
Yeah, it was Odyssey. If that's for Odyssey, they used it.
So, I think Amazon, I mean, they definitely have the resources to make it work. So,
I mean, that's all it really comes down to is how well it's executed. Because I remember, it was the big deal when both Microsoft and Sony were purchasing their own cloud-based. They purchased a bunch of companies, specifically that, like with Sony with Gaikai and using that for PlayStation Now. While it wasn't executed greatly, it's a matter of, okay, you have these resources, but how are you going to implement them? And I think Xbox currently is doing it right with Game Pass, where it's not actually cloud-based. You're just downloading the games, and, it's kind of under the same policy as the Xbox Live games with Gold. Like, as long as you had the subscription, those games are totally yours. Just pay this fee. It's like, okay.
I feel like something like PlayStation Now, that's a great idea. I feel like that'll work in like 20 years. Mm-hmm. And then the thing that Xbox is doing, I feel like, with the Game Pass, that's a solution for like now.
Yes.
Because people, they don't have internet speeds that are required for that kind of thing.
A lot of places in the country don't. That doesn't help.
And then Google and Amazon, the things that they're doing with the cloud-based video game streaming, it's interesting because you can kind of see the writing on the wall for where the industry is heading. I imagine a future in which hard drives non-existent. You just have Wi-Fi and you pay for that service, and then you can download, or not even download, you stream all of the games. So like that's going to be kind of interesting.
Yeah, you kind of just purchase the digital rights to it, and like, okay, you bought the rights, so you can stream this game. Here you go, and that'll be huge. I mean, with game patches, DLC, it's just a matter of some places may not have you pay for it because it's like, hey, we're just tossing this into your digital stream, or at least the cost of it. And that's another thing. You're looking at the cost of games. Potentially they're staying where they're at, which is a big deal because typically we see shifts in prices. I mean, it's been not really. It'd stay the same with PS3 to PS4 and Xbox 360, Xbox One. They stayed, that standard of $59.99. But with this being, potentially eliminating physical cost and having to make sure you're manufacturing digital codes, this, that, and the other, and you're just streaming it, that could potentially, lessen the cost of these things, which would be crazy.
I would hope so.
Yeah,
and I feel like now I might get some opposition to this, but I feel like games have been comparatively less expensive now than they've ever been. If you adjust for inflation and things like that. A lot of people say that gaming is super expensive, but if you compare to like the olden days when video games were just starting, the olden days, like the medieval times when we had Atari, but games are like relatively inexpensive comparatively speaking now, and I'm curious to see if games will be less expensive in the future, like you said, because of the reduced physical like manufacturing and things like that. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't, at least in the short term, I wouldn't be surprised if they just stuck with the $60 price point because they're like, oh, we can get away with this. This is tradition.
Yeah, consistency.
It's going to take, I feel like there's always the one person, the one like innovator, the one publisher that decides to do something, or the one distributor, like Steam or something like that, who decides, all right, we're going to charge less. And then everyone's going to follow suit.
And yeah, really you see it now. I mean, you have Steam with their massive sales as well. PlayStation and Xbox kind of getting into it with, a lot of smaller titles being, if you're an Xbox Live Gold member or a PlayStation Plus member, if you pre-order this game, we'll give you a certain discount. You've seen it with memberships like the Gamers Club Unlocked from Best Buy, Amazon Prime. I mean, granted, they've changed the way they do those things now, but it was something in there. Nintendo, even now, some of their first-party titles release games anywhere from, instead of it being 60, sometimes it goes all the way down from 50 to 40. It just depends on the title, really, and what they feel like is justifiable, and I think they do a good job with that.
Yeah, and we saw a similar thing with stuff like Knack, Everybody's Golf, things like that. The more like budget titles. And I like that price experimentation. I want more of that.
Yeah.
I also like the idea of having different ways of paying for games, not just like, okay, you spend $60, you get the full game, but with the whole streaming thing, you can be like, okay, give us $10 and you'll have 5 hours with the game. Something like that. Or even like, all right, the first chapter. You can buy the first chapter for $2. Like little things like that, I think will be really interesting to see.
Things like that, or like even if it's like, say, like you're not necessarily an online multiplayer kind of person, you just want to play. I just want to experience the story and be done with it. You pay like, okay, here we'll chop off $20 to online access, but here you have the main story, the campaign and everything else that comes along with it. Like, okay, like I'd do that. I don't play online.
I would prefer that, and I'm really excited to see more experimentation with that kind of thing. The way that we distribute games, the way that we consume games. Really exciting stuff.
Yeah.
20 years from now, I'm really curious to see what gaming's going to look like.
Taking things and putting them back in our head like we're in the Matrix.
That'll be fun.
I don't know. That sounds painful. I mean,
I'm
the
sure
experience
like
afterwards.
There's probably like some kind
cream,
of ointment.
Just like, here you go.
Yeah, just
rub some
put some
tussin
cream
on
on the back of your head.
Oh my god. Next up comes from CNET, written by Sean Keane. SNES games could be coming to the Nintendo Switch Online. Nintendo may be preparing to bring SNES games to its Nintendo Switch Online subscription service. Data miner Kapu claimed to find hands of 22 SNES games on the NES Online code strings, and the list is pretty glorious. And he goes through a lot of big ones, so like Super Mario Kart, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Super Mario World 2, Kirby, a lot of Kirby, F-Zero, Star Fox 2, Super Punch-Out, and Super Mario All-Stars.
Ghouls and Ghosts.
Ghouls and Ghosts.
Got some ghouls, got some
Tell
ghosts.
you what, I think I know someone who would love to see some Clay Fighters on there, but we'll see. Many of these games are among the finest in the console, which came out in the US in 1991, and the lineup is a little different from that SNES Classic Mini console released in 2017.
So this is kind of interesting because I feel like Nintendo has so many games in their history that they can release in multiple different forms, and the fact that they're this is all speculation, but the fact that this could be in the Nintendo Switch Online service, I think, is interesting because they could easily just release all of these piecemeal and charge money for it. And if they end up being part of the Switch Online service, I think that's an interesting path to take. It is a bit more consumer friendly, which is nice.
Yeah.
That's something that I wouldn't have necessarily expected from them, but that's pretty cool.
I think it's nice just because if we think about it, how many of these games have been re-released over the years, like numerous times. It's necessarily not
illegally
everything
downloaded.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like a matter of, okay, let's give our fans what they want, and it's like we can't make a terrible much amount of money off of this. Like, think about how many of these games were probably on the 3DS and Wii U and the eShop, and they put it out, and people asked for it, and it was there, but they didn't make it.
Well, that's the thing. I think they could make a massive buck on it if. And I thought that this is what they were doing when they started releasing things on mobile devices.
Yeah.
Like, if they just re-released all these games on mobile and charged like $3, $5...
And I think with that, they could definitely get away with it. But I think it's just, with it being on the Switch, it's a different kind of audience sometimes, So, I mean, they're kind of catering to, like, okay, people are playing this on Switch. Or, like, on mobile, maybe some of those people didn't own, like, a Game Boy Advance to play the remake of Super Mario Brothers or anything like that. Whereas mobile is, like, it's the first one really in their face, because that's what they looked for. Whereas on the Switch, a lot of those people, like, chances are they probably own all those old iterations. They don't want to pay it again. So, like, why will we take time and money to iterate it and put it on the Switch Online eShop only for people not to buy it because they probably own 4 different versions of it already, and this one's not anything special. Yeah. And I think it speaks to this. I mean, it's also saying, like, and while you're right, it's going to hopefully garner more people on the Switch Online service, which I think they're handling tremendously, at least with financing for everything. Whereas, the 3-month prices, the year-long prices, and a family pass. I mean, I don't see why there's not more family passes on these things, like along with Sony or Microsoft with Xbox Live Gold. Like, how many consoles are in a home, and you have to make sure there's a master account, blah, 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 and it just complicates things. Just give one person a thing, said who can manage things, this, that, and the other, and just pay a flat price, save yourself some money. I think the complications, and like, I'm only paying $35. Like, I have 7 people now on my Switch Online service, and it was the simplest thing to get done. And, it's a matter of you can have other people like, oh, hey, I'm paying the service, you guys want to chip in. Boom, it's already cheaper by milestones.
See, I think that's nice. At the same time, though, I feel like really the main draw for Switch Online would be these. The SNES
for sure.
and the NES. Because I still don't really see as full-fledged of an online experience. There's no dedicated chat. Like, little things like that without, like, external things required. So the fact that they're doing this, or could be doing this, again, this is speculation, but the fact that they could be doing this is interesting. I'm curious to see how far they go with it. I'm waiting for some Nintendo 64 classic stuff.
I mean, who knows? I mean, a lot of people still think that would be like a classic, like, novelty thing to come out.
Well, I mean, some of these were on the SNES.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Star Fox 2 has only been released ever on the SNES Classic, so the fact that they're seeing codes for this to work on the Switch is awesome.
I see Legend of the Mystical Ninja.
There you go.
I like Mystical Ninja. That's exciting. Ninja? Yeah, because the Mystical Ninja on Nintendo 64 is cool. So if that exists on the SNES collection thing, then I can only imagine that.
Who knows? And I mean, this is also going to go out, like, how many people... And it's nice because, like, people will draw this for that, but that gives Nintendo resources to, like, make their online service what it should be. So people don't worry about the issues they're having now. But anyway, let's move on. What do we have next here? We have Rocket League. It's full cross-platform play. Yes, even on PS4.
So this is another thing that I think is really exciting and telling for, again, the writing on the wall for the future of the industry. But yeah, if you want to...
Yeah, this comes from Michael McWhirter on Polygon. Psyonix rolls out matchmaking for PS4, Switch, Xbox One, and PC. Rocket League players can now play each other regardless of the system they're playing on. Developer Psyonix roll out cross-platform play for the support for the vehicular soccer game Monday across Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Windows PC, and Xbox One.
So now everyone can play against one another.
Yeah.
This is exciting.
This is huge. I mean, this is a second game for PlayStation, following behind Fortnite. And I think it really sets the tone for PlayStation. I mean, a lot of people were saying they were extremely stingy and how they want to handle this. So the fact that it shows that they're listening, they're actively trying to get things going, because they know right now when it comes to services, they're not top tier. They're not the best, and that's something they need to work on. So I think them identifying the potential for it, but at the same time also addressing the concerns they were worried about doing it by doing a game at a time. They call it their beta. They did the same thing with Fortnite. I don't know why I call it beta. Like, if it's working, it's working. Just
I think honestly, I feel like there's just it just sounds like a lot of excuses.
Yeah, I feel like a way they can backpedal if things go wrong.
One thing that I'm really excited about, I'm really excited that people like Epic and Psyonix, I love that they're kind of forcing the. Did that stop everything?
I think we're okay. Hold on. Orientation little flip.
We're
fine. Oh, no. There's crazy stuff happening. I'm using my phone to record, ladies and gents. So
this is kind of cool.
Look at that. You see my living room? Oh, my God.
Oh.
Hey!
If it flips, I'm gonna lose my shit.
If this flips...
Actually, hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna...
Did it work? I think we're fine. Or no, some lag. Hold on.
We didn't lose that, did we?
We're good. We're fine. We're okay. We're still recording. We're okay. All right.
Oh my God.
That is crazy.
Maybe we should put the phone in Do Not Disturb mode next time.
Yeah, I didn't even know if it would kick it in or not, because some of those things, like, just, oh no, you're using this or whatever.
My leg is asleep. I'm sorry.
All right, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
Everything is falling apart.
Everything is falling.
But anyways, what I was going to say was I really like that that people like Epic and Psyonix are kind of forcing the industry's hand, and I love that. I love that this is something that's consumer friendly. It's it's a win-win-win for everyone involved, and the fact that some companies, namely PlayStation, are hesitant, I think they're just scared because they feel like they can't control the market. Oh, yeah. But I don't want them to control the market. Right. I want the industry itself, or I should say the consumers to control the market. So that's what I'm excited about. Yeah, I'm excited about the future.
Yeah, and it will be great to see where it goes, and hopefully it all works out well.
I wouldn't be surprised if full cross-platform play was a big bullet point for when PlayStation and Microsoft inevitably announce their next consoles. I wouldn't be surprised if that's like the number one thing when they start talking about online services.
Oh yeah,
things like cross-platform parties, cross-platform chat, having complementary services for that kind of thing. I'm curious to see how they handle that.
Yeah, I think it will be a great sign. Hopefully, it's a good sign of things to come. All right, next up, this comes from Twinfinite. Let's see. This is written by Alex Gibson. Is Resident Evil 2 demos. Steam numbers suggest biggest launch in series history. The one-shot Resident Evil 2 demo has been a huge hit on all platforms, and recent Steam stats suggest the game is on track for the biggest launch in the series history. Back in 2016, Resident Evil 7, currently the fourth best-selling title of the franchise, also gave players a chance to try before they bought with a demo called The Beginning Hour. But its Steam peak concurrent figures pale in comparison to Resident Evil 2 one-shot demo. Steven, have you played the one-shot demo yet?
Nope.
No, neither have I, because honestly, it's terrifying, because it's going to be...
I don't like time limits on things.
Right, that time limit has me... I want to make sure I have nothing can disturb it, nothing can shake it around, like, hey, this is that thing I can play through, I'm going to play for a half hour straight, like, no breaks here, going in, but I hear nothing but great things, and I mean, it's, from what I understand, it's totally doable. There's people beating it in 3 minutes or not going to the internet.
What's interesting about this, kind of like what we talked about last time, this is great marketing.
Oh, yeah.
It gives people a thing to talk about. And they're like, oh, what was your experience with the one-shot demo? And people can kind of share their stories. And this has been getting a lot of publicity because it's kind of a unique thing. I feel like that's definitely contributing to the number of downloads. And I definitely think that the pre-orders are increased because of it. This is going to be a big game.
Yeah, and it's really neat how close to launch they released this, too. A lot of places, a lot of demos come out very gaps between the main release. So them putting out this shorter demo, or shorter timed demo, is a nice thing because, yeah, okay, sure, you only have half an hour, but if you enjoy whatever you played in that half hour, you only have a week to wait for the game.
Yeah.
So that is...
It's kind of like the same thing with announcing a game and then shortly releasing it like 4 or 5 months later. With the demo, a lot of people's first time knowing that Resident Evil 2 exists, or the remake exists, is with the demo. So it's another one of those things where, okay, you did this, you enjoyed it, just wait a week.
Yeah.
Just wait a week or two, and you've got it.
I think that's
pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. And
cool stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. Big things happening over there at Capcom. They got two, again, with the first and second quarter, or either the first quarter of the year, it's going to be two of their big games, Devil May Cry 5 and Resident Evil. So we'll see how well they do.
And they did the Monster Hunter. They're kind of going through a little renaissance, aren't they?
They really are. They have been for quite a while now, and it's great to see that, it's continuing following trend. I can't wait to see how that happens. I think they really altered off a bit when Street Fighter 5 first launched, but since listening to, fans in their consumer base, they very much not only helped Street Fighter 5 a lot, but any title coming out since then. And I know they've had some corporate changes, like, who's heading up what now, this thing and the other in the past year or two. So I think that plays a huge factor into there.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Next up, also from Twinfinite, we've got Activision Blizzard stock drops by 9.37% after Destiny divorce with Bungie. This comes from Gisby.
Why did they use the word divorce?
Well,
that sounds so dramatic.
I mean, he kind of was. I mean, you have one of the big titles to come out this console generation, and the publisher and developer just splitting. Like, no, I don't think anyone expected it to happen. Not before, like, middle of 2 receiving their content, not necessarily.
I'm fixing lag.
Fixing some lag, ladies and gents. One moment here.
I was trying to type that discreetly, but
it's fine. The people know. The people should know what's going on our end over here at Awesome Games. It's fine. It's fine. Okay,
everything is awesome.
Everything is lagging when you're part of a team. Anyway, so yesterday, well, no, that's... No, it wasn't yesterday. It was a while back. But Activision Blizzard stock was at 51.35 yesterday's close, but it already collapsed to 46.38 during the pre-session. It then dropped all the way to the lowest point of $44.47 before gradually recovering to a closing price of $46.54. While the price didn't stay as low as it could have, that's still a loss of $4.81 per stock, which translates to a massive 9.37% drop. Do you think that, because I mean, again, when that happened, it wasn't just the Activision Blizzard split, or Activision and Bungie split. It was also, they were appointing a new president. Yeah. There's a lot of things happening there. So you think it's a question necessary to that? Or
I feel like it's just, it's a culmination of a lot of different things.
Yeah.
This kind of thing happens all the time.
Right.
I feel like, now if this trend continues, it might be newsworthy, but I feel like this is kind of... Everything fluctuates all the time anyways.
Right, and who's to say, I know, with Activision no longer having the focus publishing too much when it comes to Destiny now, that they can't start pouring more into their titles they have now with Overwatch or Call of Duty or anything else they may have coming. I mean, they can always put more to it, make those better quality. I mean, not to say that they're not quality games now, they most definitely are, but, if you can make something better, go for it.
Yeah, and I feel like Bungie is fine, and Activision I feel like is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate this phrase, but too big to fail. Like,
yeah.
I don't think this is like a flick on the wrist.
They'll be alright.
Yeah, this is fine.
All right. Next up, we have EA has reportedly canceled its story-driven Star Wars game. This comes from The Verge by Nick Slat. Sorry. No, Nick Stat. Okay. I keep making a mistake with your name, Nick. Sorry about that. Let's see. Electronic Arts has finally given the axe to its story-driven, single-player-focused Star Wars game, reports Kotaku. The game, which was once in development under the now-shuttered EA studio Visceral Games, had been in the works for years, most recently under the leadership of Uncharted director Amy Hennig. In June, Hennig revealed she had left EA to form her own studio, leaving the product's fate up in the air. Now, according to Kotaku's Jason Schreier, EA has officially canceled the game despite the studio responsible, EA Vancouver, having largely restarted from scratch with what it inherited from Visceral back in October 2017.
So this is... mildly depressing, but I thought this already happened. I was actually confused. I thought that the project had already been canceled, but now I guess it's officially canceled. But what I get from all of this, and I know Amy Hennig left the project a while ago, but I feel like everything that she touches just gets shat on now. Like, ever since she left Uncharted, I feel like she just can't get a break, and I feel so bad because she's like one of the industry's best writers. And I just wish that, it wasn't one of those things where
I think this will be good for her now. She's starting her own studio. I think she'll be able to kind of, no one can really... Unless, no one puts forth, saying, hey, yeah, we'll invest... she can get a publisher to work with her, which I highly doubt will happen. Then I think her having her own studio and she can put, as much focus as she wants to in this, and she doesn't have to worry about anyone breathing down her neck necessarily. She doesn't have to worry about anyone up top. She can do what she wants. She can put out the games. She can feel their quality and worth her time and while. And I think that'll be good for her. I think this is awesome. I am sad. I don't want a story-driven Star Wars game anytime soon.
However, with that being said, I want a story-driven Star Wars game that's not from EA. I would like that.
Yeah.
So maybe this is a step in that direction.
Well, I think right now with the partnership between Star Wars and EA, I think if we see anything that way, it would come from it. And I don't necessarily give EA, any terrible, flack for their story and everything. I mean, they started putting stories in their sports games, and from what I understand, they're actually not half bad. That's actually pretty good writing. So, I mean, if they can do that with a Madden or a FIFA, I'm curious to see what they can do with a Star Wars game.
Well, evidently, though, they're not trying that hard. I mean, they had one of the industry's best writers. Yeah. They had a shit ton of awesome industry leaders coming together. Mm-hmm. They obviously had the money. Why did this not work?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't understand. And
who knows?
There were prototypes, and there were some rumblings in the industry of people saying that what they saw was awesome. Mm-hmm. They revealed the concept art. It seemed like it was going forward. What made this stop? I don't understand. And I feel like this is my personal speculation, and this is probably, I'm not claiming that this is accurate at all, but I have a feeling that it had something to do with the money. And that kind of makes me upset.
I think some backlash from Battlefront 2 also may have had a factor in it. a lot of people aren't trusting EA as much with the Star Wars property, consumer-wise anyway. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future with that.
Get your shit together, EA. Get your shit together.
Got to get on it.
I love you, but get your shit together.
This comes from Complex.
Sorry.
Written by Alex Galbraith. Fortnite made $2.4 billion in 2018, earning the most profitable year in video game history. Fortnite had the best year of any video game in history last year, raking in $2.4 billion in 2018. Nielsen Analytics offshoot Superdata found that Fortnite had a record-breaking year, topping the list of most profitable games by a comfortable margin. That the game reached this level of cultural saturation is not surprising to anyone who has encountered a teenager in the last year, but the money is totally still impressive. It's doubly awe-inspiring when you consider that Fortnite is entirely free to play, and with all of that money coming via purchase of the in-game upgrades like skins and emotes. That's what blows my mind. That this isn't a pay-to-win kind of game. There's no advantages you get with anything you're purchasing. It is very much all cosmetic, and the fact that they are still making that much money. Now, there are, things rumblings with the ranking they got from, with their service from Better Business something. It's like BBBB. There's 3 Bs. But anyway, they gave
Business Bureau.
Yes, they gave them an F because of their customer complaints going unanswered. But you also have to take into a factor, like, how many purchases...
Millions and bajillions of customers.
Yeah, it's how much of a percentage is that, like, with people playing this game...
Also, how much of that is kids stealing their parents' credit cards
and using those transactions?
Like, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, like, I with what I do, I see that happen more often than not. I'm like, hey, did you know you had this charge come up? Like, what's it from? Xbox? No, I didn't give little Timmy that much money to go spend on Xbox Live. What do you mean? So,
yeah.
I mean, it comes from that. But even then, still, like, the fact that, like, none of this is play to win, it's purely cosmetic, and they're still making that much money off of that is insane.
What I love about this, and not to toot my own horn or anything, but I called it, what I love about this is, remember last generation when people were having that conversation, if free-to-play games are ever going to catch on, or if their market, like, if they're actually viable in the game industry, here you go.
Yeah.
What happens when you make something free is it removes the barrier of entry, and then any, like, additional things, even if only 10% of people spend $1, if you have 1 million people playing it, that's $10 million. So... I mean, I think that this is awesome. Again, and this always makes me excited about certain things that are big like this. I'm curious how this is going to affect the industry and how this is going to affect other developers, and if they're going to be doing more free-to-play, having more free-to-play games with strictly cosmetic options and things like that. Like, an interesting parallel, and while it's not free-to-play, Rocket League launched as a free PlayStation Plus game.
Yeah.
And all of their updates for the game are free, and then all of the stuff that you can pay extra for are cosmetics, so they're just different looks for the cars and stuff like that. Nothing changes the gameplay or gives anyone a particular edge, other than maybe hitbox changes, but still.
And even then, like, so, I mean, you had that window. How long was it free on PlayStation?
A month.
Was it just a month?
I think so,
I feel like it was longer, but I mean, it probably. But you had that, and then how many people, just by word of mouth, told them, hey, I know I got it for free, but you need to go buy this game? And how many people just said, okay, and just purchased it? And that's not just on PlayStation. That's PC players, that's Xbox One players, that's Nintendo Switch players. Like, these people went and paid money for that full game because of the entry point people had when it was free. So
I feel like there's a lesson in here, and I think the lesson is when you give, you get.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing even with the one-shot demo. Even though it's just a demo, and even though it's only 30 minutes, you're giving people 30 minutes of the game. You're like, here, go ahead. And then people are talking about it, and now, I'll call it right now. I'm not supposed to hit the table. I'll call it right now. Resident Evil 2. Okay. Resident Evil 2 is going to be one of the highest grossing video games when it launches. It's going to make a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And I feel like the one-shot demo is part of that story.
Yeah.
And I feel like whenever anybody gives a shit ton of stuff to the gaming community will give back.
Yeah.
I think. Now, of course, there's outliers and there's things like that. But I think this is cool.
Yeah. No, I think it's great, and it's a lot. And then there's smaller news here. We have the PlayStation blog announcing their Game of the Year winners for 2018. I'm sure you guys can imagine who swept.
I wonder who won Game of the Year from the PlayStation blog.
So we'll go through a quick rundown of what they released here. So
there's no surprises in any of this.
Yeah, Game of the Year 2018. Best narrative, God of War. Second by Red Dead Redemption, followed by Marvel Spider-Man, and then Detroit Become Human. Best multiplayer went to Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which was surprising. I wasn't expecting that, but I mean, a lot of these were all fan voted too. So
yeah, anytime that there's a fan vote, it's going to be popularity contest. So.
Which still blows my mind that more people voted for Black Ops 4 than they did Fortnite. So
I think I don't know if was Fortnite on that category.
It may not have been. That's another thing I was thinking. But PUBG was an honorable mention.
Huh.
So, I mean, yeah, that's surprising. I mean, you see Fortnite later down on this list, but surprised it didn't win Best Multiplayer. So since that's all that game is. Well, except for the Save the World mode, but no one's, clamoring that much about that.
Most of the trophies are for the Save the World mode.
Well, that was the one that originally launched.
Interesting.
Yeah, so, anyway, Best Sports Game with the FIFA 19, followed by NBA 2K19, WWE 2K19, then Pro Evolution Soccer. Okay, so here's my thing. This is totally segue. It kind of drives me nuts how you see critic reviews for both FIFA and Pro Evolution Soccer. The PES games have beaten out FIFA in reviews for the last few years now, and it is crazy. The only reason FIFA sells more right now is because of the licensing they still have with teams, because of the money EA has to do so. So, I mean, if Konami can continue to chuck out these games and just keep getting critical success and beating out FIFA and critical reviews, it makes me wonder, if one day people will notice...
Once they're licensed...
Bloop. Yeah, they're putting out better quality with our stuff. Why would we not give our money to them? It's crazy to me, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, that was my soapbox. It was just, I think people should get paid for their quality of game.
You can get on your soapbox every now and then.
Yeah.
No, fuck it. It's your podcast.
Fuck this.
Where's the soapbox?
Give me my box. Give me my PES games. I'm not going to play soccer games, but I think, get what you give.
Plus, PES are delicious.
I'm not a huge fan of PES games. But anyway, PES is great.
I wonder if there's ever been a Pro Evolution Soccer PES dispenser. A PES PES.
A PES PES?
A PES PES.
Can I have a piece of your PES PES?
Yeah.
Give me some PES from your PES.
Are we making a jingle right now?
Is this a jingle?
Or, I don't know. It kind of sounded like a commercial right there. Like a Kit Kat commercial, but for PES PES.
Alright, and that's where we stop everything. Best Graphical Showcase went to Red Dead Redemption 2, followed by God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, and then Detroit Become Human. I think that's... I can give that. Because you see a lot of open world games sacrifice their graphical capability because of how large they are. Mm-hmm. And Rockstar said, screw that. You don't sacrifice one to have the other. If you could do both, you do both. If it takes a while, it takes a while, but people will appreciate it. And I'll give it that. For sure.
On an old engine.
I'm looking at you
that they're reusing.
Your Skyrims and your Fallouts and your PS2 looking graphics and your massive quality. It's fine. You guys are great. Anyway, best art direction going to God of War, followed by Red Dead Redemption 2, Detroit Become Human, and then Dragon Ball FighterZ. Yeah, I'm happy that got up there.
So when I said no surprises, there's a little bit of a surprise with that. Dragon Ball FighterZ, that's pretty cool.
But that's crazy, because that's beat out Spider-Man, Spyro, and Destiny 2 for sake. Yeah, okay, that's not surprising to beat out those three, because Spyro was just a remaster in 4K. Marvel Spider-Man, while it's Spider-Man, it's nothing that no one's seen before. Mm-hmm. And then Destiny 2 is just more Destiny.
What I'm kind of interested in is how... consistently, Detroit Become Human has been in all these categories, too. I would have thought that would be a little bit more niche, especially after Beyond Two Souls, their last game, or their previous game before that. It's interesting to me because those, I don't remember them being big deals.
I think a matter of what the state of games as an industry was when Beyond Two Souls came out, and then the amount of press I feel like they put out for this game alone was more. I feel like more people were talking about Detroit Become Human. Yeah. Because I feel like there was more reveals, more conversations, and even when Detroit was coming out and they announced that there was every new press conference there was a new section of a character. You didn't know what it was. Okay, am I playing as these three people? Are they tied somehow? Is this just random coincidence that they're here? Or are there three separate stories based on three different people that don't intertwine whatsoever? There was no question about it. But even then, they were constantly giving you something. With Beyond Two Souls, I feel like you got, hey, this is coming. And very much, if you wanted to know more, you had to go out and seek more. There was no open feeding there. And then next up, we have Best Sound Design, went to God of War, beating out Red Dead Redemption 2, Marvel Spider-Man, and then Battlefield 5. That's crazy to me. I feel like Battlefield games, EA's already done this with their games over at DICE. They record, they go out and find whatever they can, and they record the audio.
a time machine, go to that war.
Yeah, like, all right, how do these things sound? But they take old weapons, old guns, any machinery or anything used in the era that they're going to feature in the game. They do everything they can. It's crazy watching their videos and like behind the scenes doing that stuff. So, I mean, that's great. One, that they got recognized at least, within the top 4. I'm kind of sad they're not a little higher, but God of War.
I feel like the general public doesn't know what goes into Battlefield 5 sound design.
That's true.
Like, I mean, it's just another one of those things.
And I know this might hurt your heart. Best soundtrack went to God of War, then Red Dead Redemption 2, Marvel Spider-Man, Detroit Become Human, all following.
Who else was in the category then?
And then you had Beat Saber as an honorable mention, Destiny 2 Forsaken, and then Spyro Reunited Trilogy. Not a single mention of Tetris Effect, which kind of blew my mind.
It was in the thing, but I just think, again, popularity contest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it's always going to be the top things. There we go. Ongoing game. This was a separate category. I don't think Fortnite was in that category.
Which is crazy, though, because, I mean, PUBG is an ongoing game, so you'd think they'd have that in here, too. But, I mean, who knows? But Fortnite winning, best ongoing game, followed by Rainbow Six Siege, Overwatch, Monster Hunter World, honorable mentions Destiny 2, Rocket League, and Final Fantasy 14. After that, we have best independent game, The Forest. Honestly, I have no idea what that is.
It's like another one of those survival things.
Oh, okay.
You build, there's cannibals. They come out at night or something, and you have to build these forts in the forest in order. I think that's it.
Anyway,
I could be totally wrong.
It
might be a cannibal game.
It is also followed by Beat Saber, Celeste, and Tetris Effect.
What's cool is 2 of the games, VR games.
Yeah.
While Tetris Effect is not exclusively VR, Beat Saber is.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And with how late Beat Saber launched on PlayStation as well, and later in the year, I think that's a massive speak to success also. Best PlayStation console exclusive?
I wonder what this will be.
I don't know why that's even a category on PlayStation Blog's Game of the Year list. I don't know, but obviously went to God of War, followed by Marvel Spider-Man, Detroit Become Human, and then Shadow of the Colossus. The amount of times that game is brought up in Game of the Year conversations last year was kind of weird. Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh.
Because with it just being an HD remaster, they didn't do anything crazy. Like, there wasn't anything additional on there. And I feel like there were more exclusives that deserved it. It's kind of weird how often Shadow of the Colossus is talked about.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes to show how much that game resonates with people more than any of their other offerings.
Even their honorable mentions, Yakuza Kiwami and an Astrobot Rescue Mission.
Astrobot deserves to be number 1.
Yeah, I really...
It deserves all of these awards. That had a great soundtrack, too.
Yeah. And next, best performance went to Christopher Judge, Kratos of God of War, followed by Roger Clark, Arthur Morgan of Red Dead Redemption 2, Yuri Lowenthal, Peter Parker of Marvel Spider-Man, and then Brian Descartes, Connor, from Detroit Become Human. That surprised me. That Connor, Brian Descartes, got that, and not what's-his-face.
Hank.
No,
it should be Hank.
No, I mean, while Hank was a great guy,
Hank was phenomenal.
I'm thinking of...
Mr. Krabs.
He's in almost everything, too. He's in quite a few... Not even just voice acting, but also, like, live action things. It's kind of crazy how... And he's been a very long career. So.
He was my favorite character in Detroit. I connected more with him than any of the characters you actually play as. But hold on. I want to go back.
All right.
No,
what have I done? Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God. Okay, here we are. We're good.
Okay, well...
Son of a bitch!
I'm destroying everything. But it's because I'm passionate. And the reason why I'm passionate is because, again, Atreus has been ignored. Because the actor who plays Atreus has not gotten any recognition, but Christopher Judge wouldn't have played Kratos if it weren't for him. Because he chose that actor.
Well, I mean, does that speak to... I mean, you got to think about the transformation that you had to do from Kratos previous God of War.
There were different Kratoses.
Well, yeah, they were different.
So, like, the actor didn't have to go through that change of delivery.
But that speaks to how Christopher Judge was able to, okay, how do I portray this new character? This character's been around for more than a decade now. How do I portray him and make him a more likable and relatable character to that? Whereas, Atreus' voice actor is coming fresh, He's in there, he's the pissed off, ignorance, and necessarily he doesn't know what's going on kind of kid. And
the whole game, though, was about their interplay between one another. So I just think it's interesting that nobody... I don't think he's been recognized once, and yet Kratos has been. And I think that's more of a testament to how much Kratos as a character resonates with people. And and less so with maybe even the performances. Because I'm not saying Christopher Judge did an awful job,
right?
But I'm just saying I want to give credit where credit is due, and I think Atreus did a great job too. I don't even know the kid's name. That he's
also
in the 90s.
Probably doesn't help.
It's just hard to pronounce. It's like Sunny something. I don't remember. It's Sunny, and then it's like...
Leave a comment below. Let us know Atreus' name.
Well, we can also... We got Google.
Well, let's keep going with the list. We're on a timetable here, man.
I spelled it wrong.
Sunny Suljic.
Suljic. Well, I don't remember Suljic, the name. But I remember the performance, and that's what matters.
I'm going to scroll all the way down.
I'm sorry. I just had to... I had a soapbox moment, okay? I think he should get some recognition.
All right. And then afterwards...
iPads.
Technology at its finest. All right. Over there. Best PS VR experience going to Beat Saber, followed by Borderlands 2. Best PR. Followed by Borderlands 2 VR, Astrobot Rescue Mission, and Tetris Effect. Then followed with Best PS4 game being God of... Why is there a Best PlayStation exclusive game and Best PS4 game category? Unless there's a Best Vita category here or Best VR.
It's...
Oh, no, it was Best PS. Whatever. Anyway, weird.
What a masturbatory article this is.
Yeah, it's like, God of War. Anyway. Boy.
I mean, it's fine. It's on the PlayStation blog, so it's fine.
Yeah.
This is...
Followed by Red Dead Redemption 2, Marvel Spider-Man, and Detroit Become Human. And then next up, closing it all out, God. Most anticipated game, Kingdom Hearts 3, followed by Resident Evil 2, Mortal Kombat 11, and then Death Stranding. And then Studio of the Year, Sony Santa Monica Studio.
I wonder why.
Followed by Rockstar, Insomniac, and Epic Games.
I would give it to Sony Japan Studio.
Yeah? Why is that?
Astrobot.
I figured as much.
Because of Astrobot. Because they're doing some really cool stuff with VR. I feel like they're pioneers when it comes to VR game design.
I think they're probably also very focused on it, too. I think they probably bring the most attention when it comes to that as a platform. Anyway.
But they do other things, too.
They do.
What are we doing time-wise?
We were at 55 minutes, so...
Okay, we don't have to... We can just ignore that.
You sure?
Yeah, because I feel like... It's fine.
Alright, well, if you guys want to hear, there was a bit of Assassin's Creed controversy with the DLC making the characters where you had the freedom to make them love whoever they loved and everything else, and the DLC kind of rewrites that, forcing you into being in a relationship with this a heterosexual relationship there. A lot of fans were felt betrayed by it, both by the LGBTQ plus community and straight community, honestly, because they made a decision and now very much so it's irrelevant. Ubisoft did put out a comment. Stephen will be writing an article and posting on his site. More Than Friends. Is it mtfproductions.com?
mtfproductions.com.
Okay, and you can follow it there. You're welcome. It just launched. It had relaunched what, yesterday?
Yep, we just relaunched the website yesterday.
Okay.
And there should be like a new thing every day now. At least on the Facebook page. Which is facebook.com/mtf. No, Be More Than Friends. Facebook.com/Be More Than Friends.
We'll post some links.
There's lots of URLs.
In the descriptions. But yeah, so that if you guys are interested in that opinion piece, because we're short on time here, and us being weekly, by the time we talk about this next week, it would be irrelevant.
And then probably, spoiler alert, you guys probably know where I stand, but, we'll see.
Alrighty. Oh no, is there more lag? Oh no! We have to figure it out. Sorry about that, ladies and gents.
Do you have anything else open?
I mean, not necessarily.
iTunes. Close out of iTunes.
iTunes has to be open for the thing.
Oh.
And iTunes isn't doing anything, and even then, it's like, that's happening for a while, and then all of a sudden. So, again, we're work in progress here. Eventually, there will be an actual camera, not a cell phone, being used.
I don't think
it's definitely, the computer. Support us. Let us know how you like this. Hopefully, they'll generate more funds, and we need grow support and get better equipment here to keep this going. Anyway, last but not least, let's go over some new releases for the week of January 21st. We have a link open, don't we? This is all coming from...
Don't exit out of my trophy guides.
Oh, man, fuck you and your trophy guides.
I've been going on, just a little random aside while you do this. I've been going on PSN profiles. Dang it. God, that was fast.
Alright, so kicking off the week is Sinrin Kagura Burst Renewal coming out to PC and PS4. It looks like the PS4 version launched on the 18th. PC version launching on the 22nd. Then
never played a Senran Kagura.
Not my cup of tea. A lot of anime, movies all over the place. Not my thing.
Fine.
There's a lot of fan service there. A Fisherman's Tale coming out to the Rift, the Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, and PSVR on January 22nd.
Now this game, hold on. VR game seems pretty cool, but it's like all Inception-y and all surreal and weird. Like, is there lag?
No, I'm just going.
Okay, I thought you were testing lag. But like there's weird little things where you play as a fisherman inside of a little I don't know if it's a house or a boat or something, but like he can look in like a window and then he sees himself, but he's like bigger, and then like it's all infinite. I don't know how the fuck to explain this, but look up a trailer for what is it called?
A Fisherman's Tale.
Look
The
up a
amazing
trailer.
thing, I don't know the name.
Look up a trailer for A Fisherman's Tale on VR stuff, and it looks pretty cool. Looks cool.
The next up, we have Sonar Beat on PC, Android, and iOS on January 22nd. Switchblade on PS4 and PC on January 22nd. Wander Song on PS4 on January 22nd.
That looks
The Hong Kong Massacre on PC, PS4. That's the last for January 22nd.
I've actually heard some good things about that.
About the Hong Kong Massacre?
Yeah, I feel like if I remember correctly, though, I think this is like a top-down kind of thing. It plays sort of like Hotline Miami, but a little bit more methodical.
All right.
If I remember correctly. I could be totally wrong. Cool. But yeah. Kind of like if Detonation and Hotline Miami had a baby. If I'm thinking of the same game.
Okay.
So,
anyway, At the Gates on PC, January 23rd. Retona on PC, January 24th.
Oh no.
Miasma Caves will be on Steam Early Access on PC January 23rd.
Just go into the caves and can't breathe. Miasma!
Slay the Spire full release on PC on January 23rd. Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 on PC January 24th. Pikuniku on PC and Switch on January 24th. Sleep Tight on Switch on January 24th in Europe. Life is Strange 2 Episode 2 Rules will be on PC, PS4, Xbox One on January 24th.
I'm excited for that.
Resident Evil 2 Remake will be on PC, PS4, Xbox One on January 25th. Anthem demo, you get with the pre-order will be live on the 25th as well.
And that's it?
Then Genesis, that's last that week. Yeah, Anthem. So, all right. Yeah.
All right.
So,
sorry, I started losing my shit because I just think this is funny. Hearing you say Pikuniku. That's great. I'm really excited. Every time that we do this, it's exciting because I just want to hear you try to pronounce all the Japanese shit.
All the Japanese.
Like Senran Kagura. First
renewal.
That's renewal. What's that? The dot. What's that called?
Semicolon or colon.
Colon. There we go.
Yeah.
Re-colon-newal. It's not renewal. It's re-colon-newal. It's got to be.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us here today on the Awesome Games Podcast. Again, we're here each and every week on our YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know how we're doing, what we need to improve on. And if you have any tips for equipment at all that is budget-friendly, by all means, let us know. We'll look into it and see what we can do. Until next time.
If anyone would like to donate a new laptop.
Yeah, if anyone would like to donate anything, freeze free. Give what you give.
Freeze free?
You give us free stuff, we'll give you good product.
Free is free. I thought you said freeze free, like as in the laptop needs to be freeze free. Which is
that's
true.
Also true. That'd be great. But, anyway, thanks for joining us. See you next time.